Well, today, the Alzheimer's Association released their annual Facts and Figures report. Nationwide, an estimated 6.2 million Americans 65 and up are living with Alzheimer's. 1 in 3 seniors die with Alzheimer's or another dementia. Alzheimer's is also one of the most expensive diseases to treat. The estimated total lifetime cost for those with dementia is nearly $375,000. And according to the Alzheimer's Association, Black and Hispanic Americans are disproportionately more likely than white Americans to have Alzheimer's or other dementias. The numbers show almost 20% of blacks and 14% of Hispanics 65 and up have Alzheimer's, compared to 10% of white adults. The reason why is not due to genetics, but by disparities in health conditions and socioeconomics. Despite being more likely to develop Alzheimer's, concern for the disease for Black and Hispanics is lower than more than half of non-white Americans believe. Significant loss or memory or cognitive abilities is a normal part of aging. Early onset Alzheimer's is used to describe those who develop the disease before age 65. Those with early onset make up almost 5% of Alzheimer's population in the U.S. Our Naja Huff spoke with a local woman with early onset Alzheimer's.
I was diagnosed at 45 years old 2 years ago. I was diagnosed in the hospital. I had been getting lost driving. I got lost walking my dog and just knew something was wrong.
After multiple hospital visits and about a year and a half of neurotesting, Missy Callahan was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at just 45 years old.
So when I finally did get the diagnosis, as bad as it sounds, I was so glad to have a diagnosis. But then I had to come to terms with, okay, now this really isn't a great diagnosis.
She's been living with Alzheimer's for 2 years now. 2/3 of those living with Alzheimer's in the U.S. are women. In fact, at 45 years old, the age Callahan received her diagnosis, women's lifetime risk of developing Alzheimer's is almost double that of men's. But for some women, getting a diagnosis can be difficult.
I cannot tell you the women that I have talked to, and when they go in and they say their symptoms, the first thing that doctors say is, well, it's menopause.
It's important to keep in mind that Alzheimer's can affect the brain in many different ways. For Callahan, memory was one of the last things to be affected. Her walk and speech changed, she lost sense of time, and even lost her senses. Because of this, she didn't realize that she caught COVID-19 late last year.
And I didn't realize that I had it because I had lost my sense of taste and smell with the dementia years ago.
Despite this, Callahan says the pandemic was a blessing in disguise, allowing her to better connect with others living with Alzheimer's.
So virtually, I have been able to join peer-to-peer groups up in the upstate in Greenville with the Greenville chapter. And there was just something about seeing people on the screen. I mean, some of them are 30 years older than me, and some of them are 5 years older than me, but they're like me and they understand what I'm going through.
Callahan also has a Facebook page dedicated to her journey with early onset Alzheimer's and has built up a following about 1,000 strong. She says that as long as she's able, she's going to advocate and fight for those with Alzheimer's in the hopes of one day finding a cure.
It may not be in my time, and I'm completely fine with that, but I will continue to advocate for a world without Alzheimer's.
For News 19, Naja Huff, WLTX.
Going to bring